The first presidency and quorum of the 12 apostles are the men God has called to lead the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. These 15 men are considered prophets, seers, and revelators. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the educational lives and careers of each of these remarkable individuals. I have decided to focus on this aspect of their life because we so often focus on their general conference talks and other things instead of their careers. They are men just like you and me, and I feel that they can help us to see what we can achieve with assistance from God's guiding hand. Let's start with President Russell M. Nelson, the current president of the church. President Nelson graduated from high school when he was only 16 years old, the age he also started college. He earned his Bachelor's of Arts degree from the University of Utah before obtaining his Doctor of Medicine degree from the same institution, ranked first in his class in just 3 years. He then completed his residency in surgery and a PhD at the University of Minnesota and went on to become a renowned heart surgeon. After his time studying in Minnesota, 20 months were spent serving in the U.S. Army Medical Corps in Washington, D.C. He worked his entire life, giving 100% to his work. Over the course of his career, he performed nearly 7,000 total operations, and he later received honorary degrees from BYU, USU, Snow College, and U of U. Elder Dallin H. Oakes, the first counselor in the first presidency, earned his bachelor's degree in accounting from Brigham Young University with honors, and then went on to earn his law degree from the University of Chicago on a full-ride National Honor Scholarship. This is particularly incredible because of his position in his younger years when he felt like he was the dumbest kid in school. He didn't feel like he was as smart as others, but he still gave it everything he had. Because of this, he had the chance to serve as a law clerk for Chief Justice Earl Warren of the United States Supreme Court before becoming a professor of law at the University of Chicago, the University of Michigan, and then president of Brigham Young University. At the age of 12, he got his first job sweeping the floor at a radio repair shop in Vernal, Utah, and later worked as an engineer and an announcer for radio stations in both Vernal and Provo. After his schooling, he co-founded a journal, served as a faculty advisor, was executive director of the American Bar Foundation, served as a director of the Union Pacific Corporation and Union Pacific Railroad. He was chairman for both the Polynesian Cultural Center and Public Broadcasting Service. And finally, between his time at BYU and his call to the 12, he served as a justice of the Utah Supreme Court. The contrast between his jobs is quite interesting to me. It showed me that anyone can do anything they set their heart to, no matter how inadequate they may feel at times, and I am sure that the Lord's hand guided him all along the way. Elder Henry B. Eyring, the second counselor of the first presidency, earned his bachelor's degree in physics from the University of Utah and his master's degree and PhD in business administration from Harvard University Business School. He did an internship with a consultant for a Bitby power and paper company and a fellowship with the Rand Corporation. He also served as a professor at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, was a visiting professor at MIT where he took courses in human behavior, and then served as president of Ricks College, now Brigham Young University, Idaho, before becoming a member of the Quorum of 12 Apostles. He has also received 2 honorary degrees from U of U and UVU. Elder M. Russell Ballard went to the University of Utah and was working on his bachelor's degree in business administration when he made the decision to work instead of finishing. He went on to become a successful businessman in the automotive industry. He also became successful in other businesses that he was a part of, like real estate and investment banking. He also served in the U.S. Army Reserves for a time. He certainly was not always successful, and he had to work very hard for what he achieved. He worked for his father at first, but branched out, taking a job selling cars for Ford, where he incurred a huge loss. But after working through these tough times, he also became president of Keystone Security Corporation and the Valley Music Hall. Elder Ballard certainly stands out among the men that surround him. He is unique, but I feel that this is something that we can all learn from. Elder Jeffrey R. Holland was an athlete at Dixie High School, during which he worked as a newspaper carrier, a grocery bagger, and a service station attendant. He then went to Dixie College before earning his bachelor's degree in English and a master's in religious education from Brigham Young University. He then received his master's and PhD in American Studies from Yale University, where he was also an instructor at an institute in Hartford. After his time at Yale, he became an institute director in Hayward, California, and then Salt Lake City, where he also served several positions within the church. He also served as president of the American Association of Presidents of Independent Colleges and Universities, was on the board of the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities, and was a member of the National College Athletic Association President's Commission. He was appointed as the Dean of Religious Education at BYU, the Commissioner of the Church Educational System, and finally as the 9th President of Brigham Young University. Elder Holland is unique because his background is so deeply rooted in the education of gospel principles. He made the work of teaching his life focus long before his call to the Quorum of the 12. Elder Dieter F. Uchtdorf received an education in mechanical engineering in Frankfurt, Germany, before serving and earning wings from both the German and U.S. Air Force. He went on to become a pilot for Lufthansa Airlines, training others, serving as the head of cockpit crews and as captain of many large commercial aircraft. He was a senior vice president of flight operations, and he was also chairman of the Flight Operations Committee of the International Air Transport Association. During this time, he also received an MBA from the International Institute for Management Development. He has also earned an honorary doctorate degree in international business from Brigham Young University. Elder David A. Bednar earned his bachelor's degree in communication and a master's degree in organizational behavior from Brigham Young University. He then received his doctorate degree also in organizational behavior from Purdue University. After graduating, he became an assistant professor of management at the University of Arkansas College of Business Administration and then at Texas Tech University. He returned to the University of Arkansas to serve as the Associate Dean for Graduate Studies and as the Director of the Management Decision-Making Lab, receiving the Outstanding Teacher of the University of Arkansas and the Burlington Northern Foundation Award for Excellence in Teaching. He served as the president of Ricks College, serving during the transition to its becoming Brigham Young University, Idaho, before being called to the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Elder Quinten L. Cook earned his bachelor's degree in political science with honors from Utah State University and went on to earn his law degree from Stanford University. He then began his career as a business lawyer and a managing partner of a law firm in San Francisco. He served as president and chief executive officer of a healthcare system, also in California, before being called as a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Throughout his career, he also served on the governing boards of different civic and business-related corporations. He also received an honorary Doctor of Law degree from Utah State University. Elder D. Todd Christofferson received a bachelor's degree in English and International Relations from Brigham Young University and a Juris Doctorate from Duke University School of Law, after which he served in Washington, D.C. as a law clerk for a U.S. District Judge. He served as an active member of the U.S. military and 8 years in the reserves. Later, he moved to Nashville to serve as Senior Vice President and General Counsel for Commerce Union Bank of Tennessee. He then worked for Nations Bank Corporation in Charlotte, North Carolina, before becoming a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Elder Neil L. Anderson graduated with a bachelor's in economics from Brigham Young University, where he was elected as student body vice president, and then Harvard University with a master's of business administration. He became a business executive in the healthcare industry, serving as vice president of the Morton Plant Health System. He also worked in advertising and real estate development before his call to the 12. Elder Ronald A. Rasband attended the University of Utah, where he received a bachelor's degree. He joined the Huntsman Container Company as a sales representative and was later appointed president and chief operating officer of Huntsman Chemical Corporation, also serving as a member of the board of directors. He also holds an honorary doctorate of business and commerce from the Utah Valley University. Elder Garret E. Stevenson received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. He co-founded an exercise equipment manufacturing company, Icon Health and Fitness, Inc., where he served as president and chief operating officer. He also served on the Marriott School of Management, National Advisory Council, and the Utah State University Foundation Board. Elder Dale G. Renlund was a renowned cardiologist and professor of medicine. He received a bachelor's degree in chemistry and a doctor of medicine from the University of Utah. He went on to do both his residency and fellowship programs at the Johns Hopkins University Hospital. He then returned to the University of Utah as a professor of medicine and as the medical director of the Utah Transplantation Affiliated Hospital's Cardiac Transplant Program. He also became director of the Heart Failure Prevention and Treatment Program at Intermountain Health Center in Salt Lake City. Elder Garret W. Gong attended Brigham Young University, where he received a bachelor's degree in Asian and University Studies. He received his Master's of Philosophy degree and then a doctorate in International Relations from Oxford University. He served in a number of positions, including Special Assistant to the U.S. Secretary of State, Professor at both Georgetown University and Johns Hopkins University, Assistant to the U.S. Ambassador in Beijing, China, Freeman Chair in China Studies, Director of the Center for Strategic and International Studies, and Assistant to the President of BYU Planning and Assessment. Elder Ulisses Suarez received a bachelor's degree in accounting from the Pontifical Catholic University of São Paulo and a master's degree in international management from the American Graduate School of International Management. He served as an accountant and an auditor in Brazil for large multinational corporations and as director for temporal affairs for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Each member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles and First Presidency has their own experiences in their careers. We can learn from them. Each of them is unique in what they did, doing everything from business administration to law to healthcare to sales. Despite these differences, they strive to do what is right, asking the Lord for guidance as they serve others and lead and guide His church in these latter days.